Morning.
Welcome back to our varying viewers here on Youth Wednesdays on Tobago Updates. We continue on this morning with Miss Neisha Agostini, who will be taking us through Carnival film screenings, the Tobago Carnival edition. I missed it up there a little bit. Good morning to you, Miss Neisha.
Good morning and welcome. You seem to be having a technical difficulty. I hope that you would have unmuted your mic. That might work. All right.
Hello. Hi.
Yes.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we are
Good
hearing you now. Good
morning.
morning.
Hi. Good morning. Sorry, I was frozen there for a minute. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. Now we have the topic of Carnival film screening. So before we get into it, I just want you to just explain to our viewers what film screening is all about.
Okay. Hi. Hi. So I'm hosting the Carnival Film Screenings Tobago edition at the Scarborough Library from Monday the 21st to Friday the 25th of October 2024. All screenings from 4 p.m. onwards are free and open to the public. The aim of Carnival film screenings is to attract an audience interested in learning more about the authentic and cultural experiences of the Carnival of Trinidad and Tobago. And like I said, we're partnering over the Tobago Carnival with the Scarborough Library to host these film screenings, which is basically a collection of local films with local filmmakers. And all the films are about Carnival. Tobago is not our actual premiere or inaugural launch. We were pleased to collaborate with the Gate Picture House Notting Hill Cinema over the Notting Hill Carnival, and we did host Carnival film screenings on the 23rd and 24th of August this year. And next year we look to go to Trinidad. So Tobago actually has the first Carnival film screenings before Trinidad, and I'm pleased about that because Tobago is always close to my heart.
All right. So who is your target audience? Who is it that can submit their films to be screened and enter into this carnival screening or carnival film collection on a whole?
I mean, we're open to filmmakers from all over the world. Once the topic encapsulate the theme of Carnival, we're interested to collaborate with you. And, please contact me. I have a Facebook page, Carnival Film Screenings, where you can send me a message to include your film in the listing. Maybe not for this year, but for future events, because like I said, we hope to go to Trinidad, to New York, London again, etc. Wherever there is a carnival, we hope to have carnival film screenings. We are pleased to collaborate with Tobago Library Services, and I'm amazed that this facility exists and the support that I'm getting. And I'd like to thank Ms. Job for facilitating us this year for this event.
Okay. So what are some of the criteria that some people who may be interested in entering should have to bring? What are some of the things that you advise should be included in the films itself?
I mean, just send me your film in any theme on Carnival, any theme on Pan, Carnival making, costume making, any historical themes on Carnival. Any films that you have, anything that's dealing with Carnival, you can submit. We're looking at having, for example, a youth edition, and open to the public. The youth edition will be screened from 4 p.m. on Tuesday, the 22nd, and on Friday from 4 p.m. onwards. We have some local filmmakers that have made films on Carnival, and I think that there's a focus on the youth. So I'm hoping Tobago Updates will also, later on in upcoming segments, interview two of the filmmakers that are screening at Carnival Film Screening, namely Kendison Nori, who is also a local up-and-coming artist, painter in Trinidad and Tobago. He has a short film called Carnival Blues, which about Blue Devils and Paramen, which is a rite of passage for young boys to play the Blue Devil character. And also, we also hope that you can interview Kevin Adams, who has a short film called No Soca, No Life, who is actually currently also producing a feature-length version to that film. And so he can talk about that more when he comes on board. So these are some of the selection of the films in the youth edition of the screening. the whole concept came as a result of the fact that I got some funding to produce a documentary called Upside Down, which looks at the history of Dragon Mass in Trinidad and Tobago. It's a short. I'm looking for additional funding to create a feature-length feature. But with the short, I was looking for platforms to screen my documentary, and it's been very, very difficult. I tried to get it on local TV. Sadly, everybody was willing to air it for free, but obviously this is a career of mine. So, I was asking for nominal pay for it to be screened, like what they would pay to, local stations would pay to run a syndicated program, American program, etc. And, nothing was happening. I found a collective of filmmakers in the same boat as me, basically, that had a lot of work on Carnival specifically, and, they wanted a place to also show it. So I conceptualized Carnival film screening as a space to be able to have a collective of filmmakers have a platform to have their work shown not just in Trinidad and Tobago but globally. And the fact that the Notting Hill Picture House, the Gate Cinema in Notting Hill Picture House, was able to come on board and willing to screen that film in London as part of the Notting Hill Carnival. We hope to have similar effects eventually in the Miami Carnival, maybe not this year, but next year, New York Carnival, and so on. So wherever there is a grouping of a Caribbean community, we're looking to find a space to show films on Carnival from Trinidad and Tobago and maybe eventually throughout the Caribbean, but the Caribbean expression of Carnival. Um, while approaching the Scarborough Library, I did reach out to some local people I know involved in film and the media here in Tobago to find out if I could have found any films or documentaries specifically on Tobago, and unfortunately, I was not able to find anything. So I'm really hoping that Tobago Updates can I can reach out to people in Tobago that may have films that can reach out to me and to be part of this event.
All right. Good morning again, Miss Augustini. Uh, I realize that your study is to highlight the different carnival across the world that has a Caribbean touch. Well, Tobago's carnival is about two years old. It's the third incarnation
Yeah.
of the Tobago carnival. What are your hopes in soliciting this kind of support from Tobago in terms of highlighting Tobago's carnival? And my other question is, given the fact that you have experience globally about carnival, do you see any differences, any notable differences, any uniqueness, and any similarities in the theme of carnival across your study? What are your thoughts?
Um, With regards to the Tobago Carnival, I'm hoping that Carnival Film Screenings is able to create another aspect of the carnival that's more like a family-friendly event. Like I said, we had a focus on the youth screenings to involve families and children in these carnival events. The Tobago Carnival, I think, is going along the route of having the big bands, etc. I remember when I actually came to Tobago 20 years ago to live and work initially, there was also a Tobago Carnival, and a difference that I see there that's not included here in this modern day carnival was the fact that the festivals committee gave grants to villages and small communities to have carnival bands. And there was that aspect of like a small band, a village based band, bringing the village and community together, which I think is I'm not sure. I kind of like looked about what's happening here, which is sadly missing. I mean, I saw an update recently that the small bands were lamenting at the fact that they weren't getting hardly any sponsors on board, and a lot of the attentions were going to the big bands and fets, etc. You know what I mean? So I hope that's something that I can see come out of it from viewing the carnivals in the previous years. I mean, and even in Trinidad Carnival, a lot of my documentary is focused on traditional mass, and I have a deep love for what is a dying aspect of the carnival, where there is actual masquerade performance and theatrics. So I hope that's something that can be developed also here in Tobago and even in Trinidad. You know what I mean? I mean, Trinidad is making a small effort in having, the children's school, traditional carnival, etc. But I hope that something can be salvaged and preserved. And my documentary, Upside Down, is an attempt to look at that mass and the history of that mass which was basically the foundation of Caribbean Carnival.
All right. Thank you, Miss Agostini, so much for being with us this morning. Before we leave, before we finish off, I just want you to leave your contact information for anyone that may be willing to be a part of the film screening process.
Okay, so the email address is carnivalfilmscreenings@gmail.com, and you can go onto my Facebook page, Carnival Film Screenings. I can be found there, and send a message. And if you want any information or updates, please look on my Facebook page. I will give an update to this specific film that will be screened. And please, live next week, Monday to Friday, you permit to see amazing films on Trinidad and Tobago Carnival. So please come.
All right. Thank you so much once again, Miss Agostini. It's always a pleasure having new faces and new ideas to Tobago updates as we go forward. I do hope that you enjoy your day. Viewers, you stay safe. You enjoy your day as well as we come to the end of Youth Wednesdays and go straight into Good Morning Tobago. Very exciting. So before we go, Dwayne and I would just encourage you to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Have a great day.